Good evening and salutations, my Cage fans. About 10 seconds before I started, I was like, well, what scene should I start with first? And it made me think about the Sasha and Willow scene that I did not talk about yesterday. So, we'll talk about it today. As far as this scene is concerned, very classy, very classic soap opera stuff. Them two going back and forth for each other, bringing up their mistakes, bringing up their past, bringing up all their dirty deeds. It was actually pretty great to watch in a sense. Usually, stuff like that, the whole bickering back and forth thing it would just get annoying, right? Like, you would normally just get annoying. But just like, it's just classic soap opera stuff. Now, what I will sit there and say is, Sasha, just keep in mind, you started this, right? You started this. You opened up your mouth, and the first thing that you said when Willow was walking away was, "You don't like me, do you?" Yeah, that's exactly why she's walking away. Thank you, Mrs. Captain Obvious, for stating that. So Sasha brings up the whole Michael thing and what she did to Michael. And today, I don't remember yesterday, but today she brought up the whole Jason thing as far as her taking advantage of Jason while he was grieving. And she sits there and she has that look of shock on her face. But 5 seconds earlier, she was sitting there literally saying, "I'm going to judge you." This is the words that she said. "I'm going to judge you." In what goddamn universe do you feel the right to judge anybody where you have years of just making mistakes, right? So, unless you turned into God out of nowhere, no, you don't. You do not have the right to sit there and judge her. Hell, she doesn't have the right to sit there and judge you either. So let's just be very clear. But the fact that she said that with such confidence, such gusto, I was like, wow, okay. Because when the truth comes out, because she's been lying, right? Yet she actually says she has the audacity to say that she's going to judge her. When that truth comes out, just remember every goddamn word that you said. Because, well, spoiler alert, I'm going to drag her to Kingdom Come and then some. After that very unpleasant exchange, Sasha does her ultrasound, sees the baby. Um, Willow and Drew wind up meeting up afterwards, and they, kind of debrief each other. Don't really talk about much, but they do wind up kissing. And Sasha sits there and takes a look and then walks away. I'm like, this doesn't affect you, bro. You have some happy news. Why don't you go and celebrate that with, the people that you claim to annoy you? Claim to annoy you, but when you have the opportunity to sit there and leave because they're so controlling, I love working for them. Okay, Sasha, sure, that that makes total sense. Um, I don't really understand what the hell Carly's going through at this point. I don't get her. At one point now, she's gonna get first what she winds up doing when she's with her gal pals, Maxie and Lulu. She is staring so hard at Jack. Like, jealous? Like, I don't understand. Why are you staring at him for? You literally said, "Hey, listen, I can't be with you because my and your life isn't compatible." Um, your best friend Jason, he's a mob enforcer, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. But she did sit there and say, "Well, we're not compatible," and yet you spent the majority of the time staring at her. So when Lulu leaves, Jack comes against her, and she, at first she's like, what's going on or whatever, and Jack is like, "Hey, listen, you just had to come with me," and Carly was like, "Hey, listen, if he says it, I trust him." So those two leave. And then, Maxie's like, all right, so what's going on? Corey's like, yo, listen, our lives aren't compatible. Maxie's like, okay, so what do you want? Well, I don't want marriage. Okay, so what do you want? Because you just sat there and said that your life is compatible to what? I could have swore it was something else. I don't even remember what it was, but it wasn't even a whole compatible thing. It was something else, and I can't even remember what it was. But the point is, it kept flip flopping back and forth and back and forth, and I don't know what I want. I'm like, well, listen, we don't have infinite amount of patience to sit there and deal with that. We don't. Um, he walked away, and that was probably the best thing for him. But of course, as it's GH, and Carly just runs shit apparently. His dumbass gonna sit there and want to go back to her, which yeah, there's that. So Curtis comes in during a meeting with Portia. And Kurt and Drew is to talk about this initiative, this kids program, and he's like, "Hey, listen," and Portia wants to do it, and Portia's like, "I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth." She got a little feisty, right? And at one point, she's like, "Listen, this is your baby. You don't really need me to sit there and do it." And then, because she needs to be reminded that he still has power over her, he says something in a threatening way of like, listen, if I go down, you go down, or something like that, or my future, something about we're connected or whatever. And then she was like, oh, yeah, what you really mean is that I can go to jail, like real jail. You know what? I'll be a part of it. And Curtis had said he was going to think about it. Now, here's the truth of the matter. Portia did sit there and convince Curtis to sit there and say yes. Because one, she's a mother. Two, she's a doctor. Three, there's Trina and Kai. It's a good cause, right? We take Drew out the equation. It's a good cause. Curtis knows that. Curtis is like, yeah, listen, it's a Drew thing, and like I get that, but for the sake of the hospital, the sake of the kids and everything like that, just push your ish aside. You don't like Drew. We get it. Jordan comes in. After Jordan was not there talking to Curtis, after Jordan was talking to Drew about his, you know, his project. And of course, Jordan was like, "Yeah, this is about you trying to look good again, right? Yeah, whatever. It's a good project." So with them doing it, Jordan is in, right? Because Jordan saw right through it, but Jordan is again. She's also a mother. She probably thinks it's a good idea, revenue, all that good stuff. So hey, listen, it is what it is right now. Lucas meets the new guy named Marco. Hello. I'm sorry, I had to do that at least once. Um, now Lucas is he's not drunk, but he's tipsy, right? And it kind of tipsy where you confess your feelings in a sense. Listen, there are different types of drunk people. There is the angry drunks, the emotional drunks. You can take a wild guess of which part of the spectrum I'm in. But the point is, he was essentially oversharing towards a total stranger in a sense, which on some level I get. As bad as it may come across, he did sit there and say, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry for oversharing." Sometimes it's easier to sit there and talk to a total stranger. You're not going to worry about judging you too much as opposed to talking to your family about everything that was bottled up inside of him. But there was one point where Marco was like, when he was talking about the Brad situation, Marco was like, okay, but the thing is that he must have really loved you. Yes, he went about this stuff in a very shitty way, especially with the baby and everything. He did to sit there and spare you pain at the expense of his freedom. You know? Anyway, after all the drinking and everything, they wound up hooking up. They wound up making out, and apparently they're gonna sit there and take that back to the bedroom. So I saw something on Soaps in Depth or whatever, and the actor was sitting there talking about his new role. the guy who plays Marco. So hopefully they keep him around. Maybe he'll be an interesting character. Rick comes over, and you know the constant joke is everybody keeps coming in to interrupt, right? So Rick comes in there, and Rick comes in there with two things. He wants to sit there and thank Lucky for his bravery. He also wants to sit there and tell her that he has papers saying that she's officially back. Now I don't know if Lucky was just being a hater or whatever, but he was like, "Hey, listen, we already knew that, so this seems a little kind of redundant." But I got more. Okay, he got back pay from her time of not being at the hospital. What do you gotta say about that, Lucky? You wanna? Yeah, I didn't think so. Um, so while she goes and frames it or whatever, they have a quick chat, right? And long story short, Rick pretty much they go back and forth. Lucky's like, you could have sent the messenger. Um, yeah, he could have, but good news was the good news, and he wanted to deliver it. And hell, if he gets under your skin, so be it. He did sit there and say Lucky as far as like the guy who really can't be counted on. The guy who has no problem. At one point, he really was going to bail on Aiden. Then he walks off. He does sit there and say that Terry was the one that called him. Terry was the one that called Rick, apparently. Um, oh, Terry. I mean, it'd be nice to sit there and see Terry, but yeah. Y'all know what we're not seeing Terry. And it ain't cool. Um, so, Jason, Anna, Charlotte. Long story short, Charlotte wants to sit there and talk to Lulu. But Anna's like, maybe it's not a good time. Let's just kind of play it safe. Go be on your headphones listening to whatever new pop star that you like. But because at first I was like, why don't you want Lulu to sit there and talk to Charlotte? And she explains all the different ways her phone could have been tapped, and she wants to sit there and call Jack to get Lulu there securely, and reunite them. So Jason has a problem with it because he still don't trust Jack. But Anna's like, hey, listen, this will look good on Jack. Bringing back Lulu's daughter. Because he's smitten with Carly. And Jason's like, okay, fine. At some point, I do want Lulu to sit there and thank Jack because she gave him hell of attitude. Hell of attitude. Like, boo, I don't even know you. You walking up in here, you ask me for favors, and you're sitting there calling me a liar and this, that, and the third. Like, boo, I don't know who the hell you think you are, but, like, you're not going to talk to me like that. Um, so while she was crying and saw Charlotte and everything like that, I'm like, at some point, you better sit there and thank him. All that attitude and all that sass, I was like, boo, you can sit there and take your ass back to sleep for like another couple of years. Um, yeah, I don't feel like that's about it. I might have missed something. I don't know. Now, I think that's about it. I might be doing a live stream. I'm not sure yet. I'm going back and forth with it. I think my issue is that, like, whenever I do these live streams, and I say I'm going to do it for an hour, it's never just an hour. It's just like there's no self control. I start doing it. We have a good time. Somebody comes in late, and I stay a little bit extra. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, I got to wake up at 3:45 in the morning. Maybe this is like not a good idea. So I'm kind of going back and forth with it. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do a live stream tonight because, again, tomorrow, 3:45 in the morning. But the cool thing is, though, is that once I got to work, I don't have to work on Saturday. So we could sit there, hang out, and chill and everything. But then the other part of me is like, I took such good notes towards all the shows. Towards all the shows. I literally sat there and made sure that I had everything ready for tonight. Okay? I was like goddamn Batman at that point. Prep time was amazing. But, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe one day when I'm sitting there doing this full time, I don't have to sit there and be having these conversations. Anyway, check the community tab and we'll kind of play about there. All right, I'll see you on the next video.